Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of The Paige Show. I don't know about you, but with the lack of free time these days, yet what feels like areas we should be filling with something, with quarantined and all of this stuff that's going on, kids out of school, kids back at home, kids in school. My head is spinning, and one thing I really tried to start during this pandemic was take advantage of even the little bit of moments of breath that I had to do something that was like self-care for me. And so I'm a Gemini, my brain's always going, and I like to always learn things, and I love Udemy. I love all the abilities technology brings, where you can learn from people that you would have never met or even known about before technology. And then with the pandemic and Zoom, everybody's zooming everywhere. You can really tap into some good stuff. And so I'm just really excited for all of the advantages that we could have taken for growth. So I want you guys that are listening to just think about that. It's not judgment. It's just like, if you have been frustrated with this, maybe shift your energy into how can you allow this experience to let you grow. If that's doing something new that you haven't done, doing some Zoom thing that you wouldn't have gone to, but now you can do it in your pajamas at home. I encourage you to think about that, because I have really gotten some good stuff. And so I wanted to talk a little bit on meditation. Everybody knows, if they're following me, if you've checked out what I do or my website, I have a book that I published in 2015. That was the start of me kind of embracing meditation, but I've never preached, for lack of a better word, meditation in the traditional way. And doing courses and taking classes through this pandemic, I've found some very like-minded teachers that I've learned some things from. And it's been a great experience of how a lot of people are starting to think more about mindfulness, which is how I have liked to talk about it or teach it to my clients. I've taught more of mindfulness form of meditation versus actual, meditation that people think of when they hear that word. If you know me, there's not a lot of times that my mind ever is empty or quiet. And so it would be unbelievable to think that I could meditate and be a monk on a mountain and everything's clear and serene and peaceful. It's just not who I am. It's not where I am in life. 4 kids won't allow you to do that. If nothing else, that wouldn't happen. And so I have learned that my connection to spirit, my connection for whatever feeds my soul, is part of my self-care regimen. I call that mindful practices, because I can do it even washing dishes. I can let my mind go to a place where it can filter out the things that are not true, even if my mind's telling me that it's true. And I can find that state of peace, of centeredness. And that's really what people are trying to put out for you when they're wanting to teach meditation. It's not really about the precise tool of or steps of how you do it that we should focus on, but what is the real purpose of it? And if we talk about it from that point of view, the real purpose is to calm the mind, not empty the mind. Meditation is just another form of connection to divine self and to source, so that you can have clarity for your life, clarity for the moment, And mindfulness is really great because you can do it pretty easily with some techniques that one of which I'll just share with you today. And you can find that even in the most chaotic times, you can take 5 minutes for yourself and be able to recenter with a simple technique where you just stay with your breath. You just stay with focusing on one thing or one point in the room. If you have your eyes closed, you could have an image just in your mind's eye that you're staying with. But for this purpose, I'm going to use the breath, because for me, a huge mantra has always been just breathe, because I'm pretty passionate and a busy person, and there are times where I have always had to remind myself, just breathe. And so breath is a good one. So I'm going to give a little meditation today while also at the end teaching you what it actually was doing for you. That will help you center yourself within just minutes, get you in your own power, connection to source, all of those things, however you want to label it. And it's just by focusing on your breath. And so I want you to take a breath in now, a really deep breath, and I want you to think about where you feel that the most. Is it in your nose? Is it a certain part of your chest or your stomach? And take in a few breaths until you can identify exactly where your breath is most noticeable. And when you've pinpointed that, I want you to breathe in a natural rhythm for you while focusing on that spot that the breath is coming from. So as I take in my breath, it's right above my belly button that I feel my breath the most. And I just focus on that point as I get in a rhythm of breath. And now a thought comes in. Did I pay the mortgage this month? Oh, I see the thought. That's fine. It's there. And I let it float away. Just like a cloud that you get in a cartoon where the cloud bubble pops up and your thought or your worry or concern is in that little bubble, that cloud. Just watch those little clouds come in. And as a thought comes up, we're focusing on our breath. We go back to where we feel our breath. We focus on that point, and we just hold it. And as another thought comes in, we let it go by, float by in the little cloud bubble. It just goes away. We go back to our breath. Another sound happens or thought pops in. We acknowledge it. Did my kid do its homework? Okay. We acknowledge it, it's there, but we let it float away. And we just do that until slowly the cloud bubbles stop coming. And we're just sitting with our breath. When you're ready, I want you to just come back, breathing normally, opening your eyes. Now, what I want to share with that is if you do that a few minutes a day, doesn't matter when, whenever you can fit it in, whenever you can close your eyes and it be safe, not driving down the road. Practice that until it becomes easy for you, where those thoughts come in or worries, concerns, all the things that would distract you, that make you say, I can't meditate. I can't ever get my mind to stop thinking or worrying or making a list of what I need to do next. All those thoughts, as you practice this ability, it will become just that, an ability that you have to identify what comes in and acknowledge, okay, it's there, but I don't need to deal with that right now. And I'm going to let it float away, and I'm going to go back to my breath. Okay? I'm just going to let that go. I'm going to let it be. I'm going to do my breath, because that's all that matters right now, is that I stay in my power in my breath. Now you can hear the tone of my voice change as I drop into that, really drop into that peace and power. And so what that teaches you is that even without doing the exercise on your daily routine schedule, whatever that looks like for you, your list of things to do, you can have this become a tool in your toolbox to basically organize what you should be concerned about or not, right? Because we have to do that, or our thoughts will run away from us. We will tell a whole story of what is going to happen that will never actually happen, and it really was just this, and we will get ourselves worked up about it. And so this is not just a skill about centering and getting you in your power for clarity. It becomes a tool that you can use almost as a snap of the finger. When your brain becomes overwhelmed with whatever is going on, you can put it in that cloud bubble and you just let it float away. Okay, that's not my concern right now. I acknowledge it, but I'm letting it go. It's going to go this way. Because the truth is you can take a few minutes for yourself and not address that. It's okay. All right. And we need to be okay with that. That's what I try to teach people, is we have to learn to be okay with that. Taking that minute or 30 seconds or 5 minutes in the morning or night, midday, all of the above, whatever you need, depending on your stress level. We have to be able to be okay with doing that. So I want to encourage you to try this to where it becomes an actual ability of yours, that you can snap yourself in and you can say, this thought's coming about, but I'm going to let it float away because I'm going to center and be okay, because I need to be present. And that's what this is teaching us, to be present in the moment. And really, the whole point of meditation and mindfulness and all of those words we throw out is to teach us to be present, to not get carried away in our worries and concerns of what ifs that may never actually be the truth of the story. And as you do that, it actually becomes who you are, that you can just stay more present. I can worry about the car payments and paying the bills and checking my email after I'm in present moment with my kids having dinner. So you can be at the dinner table and you can be okay to say, all right, that thought's coming in, I'm going to let it go away in that thought bubble, because I'm going to come back to center and enjoy this dinner with my kids. So for this particular exercise, I use the breath to help teach you that. Start working with your breath and let that be a good focal point. And then in upcoming episodes, I will share some other tips, other ways that you can use this ability to also help you stay centered in your power and give you the best version of you on a daily basis, no matter what is thrown your way.